And here we go.
Welcome to the Great Work Insights Podcast by the O.C. Tanner Institute, the show that features the people, the professionals, the thought leaders, and the coolest companies. And now your host, the man navigating the discussion about the culture, the organized chaos, and the best practices that compel great work, Todd Nordstrom.
I want to start today's show with a quote. I want you to think about these words. These things are better than gold: ideas, theories, values. These are the words that came from the founder of the company I work for, O.C. Tanner, the largest employee appreciation company in the world. They are the words of Obert Tanner. But slow down. Ideas, theories, and values are really big concepts. Yeah, they're bigger and better than gold. They're concepts we all can really chew on a bit. They're words that we all like to think about in our free time. They're words that, we like to think mean the world to us. Except that, let's all really be honest. Ideas, theories, and values often get buried by deadlines, budgets, and spreadsheets. Just for a second, consider appreciation and recognition. If I asked you how valuable these concepts were inside your company and your relationships at work, you'd probably tell me that it's at the top of your list, that you truly appreciate your employees and colleagues. Yet, most leaders and managers will say they often don't recognize the people they work with because they simply don't have time. I could instantly jump into a rant about how much appreciation and recognition means to your employees and your team members, but I'm not going to do that today. Well, at least not yet. Instead, I want to talk about holidays. I want to talk about birthdays. I want to talk about anniversaries. I want to talk about things like Valentine's Day. Let me ask you all a personal question. How important is it to show your love for your significant other on Valentine's Day? Some of you are probably thinking that it's extremely critical because you might get yelled at otherwise. Others are thinking, it's important, but it's not a big deal. And there are also those of you who are looking at your calendar right now, freaking out, hoping it's not Valentine's Day today, because if it is, you're late. I admit I'm in that last category. I'm the guy who's always shocked and unprepared for Valentine's Day. But here's the kicker. So is my wife. And I think that's not because we don't care about a holiday that is based on sharing affection, but instead because we feel affection and admiration and appreciation need to happen all year round. Now let's talk about a different holiday, one that seems to sneak up on everybody as well. It's called Employee Appreciation Day. For those of you looking at your calendars, I'll tell you right now, it's March 4th of this year. And if that seems daunting, like you need to figure out how to show all your employees and team members how much you appreciated them all in one day, then my guest today can surely ease your anxiety. As the CEO of O.C. Tanner, the world's largest appreciation and recognition company, Dave Petersen understands the difference between feeling applauded for a day and feeling appreciated all year round. David, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thanks, Todd. Good to talk to you.
Dave, I have a question for you personally because obviously I need to be transparent with the audience. You are my boss. And I talk to people about appreciation day in and day out. And I always ask people, a question to go back into their own life and kind of dig up those words of appreciation that were shared with them, whether it was elementary school or high school or college, or whether it was a teacher or a coach or a former employer. I have a question for you, doing what you do, leading a company that helps other companies show their appreciation to their employees and realizing how many lives you impact. What does appreciation mean to you in your life?
Well, we have events, appreciation events regularly, and it's a indispensable part of our culture, and you couldn't weed it out if you wanted to, and I'm glad because we don't want to. But I go to them if I'm in my executive meeting with my executive team, and somebody is celebrating a 25-year career achievement milestone, or somebody's receiving the Silver Award from our performance program for going above and beyond. I leave the meeting. I'm not going to miss them. And I want to be a part of it, and I want people to know that it matters to me. But the real reason for that, and what appreciation means to me in a big way, is that every time I'm involved in listening to what our colleagues, our employees say about each other. And remember, when peers gather around to talk about what someone else has done at work and why they appreciate them, they know better than I know what that individual does. They know the circumstances from which they come, and they know the great work they're doing. And I listen in, and I hear what people say about each other, and inevitably I go back to my office feeling confident. Yes, I'm grateful, I feel appreciative, I'm glad I'm surrounded by great people that are doing great things, but I feel confident because I hear our people talk about what they're doing and achieving. And as I then meet and we think about our strategy, we make our long-term plans, and I feel like we can do anything. I have the confidence that our people can do anything because I hear what they say about each other when they're expressing appreciation and recognizing each other's good work. And that is really important to a leader, to know that their organization can pull off whatever is needed.
You know, I think it's interesting, too, as when you say that it's really part of the O.C. Tanner culture. It is, and it's something that, before I joined the company, I'll be honest, I hadn't witnessed a lot of in my previous career, and it's awesome, David, and I just want to appreciate you for being the head and leader of that culture, because it is a truly awesome thing. So like you mentioned earlier, Employee Appreciation Day is probably a good day to have a celebration and really kind of bring some attention to the concept of appreciation. For the leaders and HR leaders and managers listening to this show who might be wondering what they should do for their people on Employee Appreciation Day, do you have any last-minute tips?
Yeah, there are a few things I think that are really, some of them are old school, but they're meaningful and they're simple. One thing I like is a personal note. It's not tough before the end of the day to think of 1, 2, or even 5 people that you want to express appreciation to. Maybe you do it on a Friday, maybe you do it every day before you go home, but a handwritten personal note is a great touch, and it's meaningful because it takes effort. There are some things that can be done, and we all heard about them, in some of these in-office services that companies add or offer to their people. They might bring in some massage therapists. They might have somebody out in the parking lot that can wash cars for them on a Friday afternoon, or even some errand runners for those on your team that are so busy they can't get their dry cleaning dropped off or something like that.
Yeah. I like that.
There's always food. You can do free breaks. Sometimes in our company we'll have the leadership team serve smoothies or a root beer float, or hand out a free break. You can go even bigger. You can take your team to dinner to celebrate Employee Appreciation Day. Time off with pay. Sometimes it's even time off to do a service project in the community with pay. That is a great expression of appreciation and recognition for your people.
Love that, Dave. If listeners want to learn more about O.C. Tanner and some of the things that we do, best place to find us?
OCTanner.com.
Thank you so much for your time today, Dave. This is awesome.
Feeling inspired, motivated, encouraged? We want to hear from you. Rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. And be sure to visit OCTanner.com for more podcasts and how you can inject great work and employee recognition into your organization. Now go out and make a difference within your organization.